Joining
Lewis
you in
Carr.
And make
conversation,
some noise for him.
WayMaker founder, president of media sales at BET,
Yeah.
Lewis Carr.
Who's sitting where? All right. What's going on, y'all?
Yep.
Yeah. Hold up.
What's up, G-Thang?
Nick Cannon in the building.
That suit a little too tight. You ain't unbutton it. You gonna suffocate yourself.
Don't be like that, Nick. Don't start right now.
Unbutton that button. That button is angry at you.
Yeah, it's hanging on. It's hanging on. It's hanging on.
Let it go, G-Thang.
Hey, man, you ain't in stuff the yard. Don't do that.
Hey, let's do a quick temperature check. Hey, if you love Wildin' Out, make some noise.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir.
This is where it all started, right here. G-Thang was in the my pilot episode of Wildin' Out when I just would call my friends. I've known this dude since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first people, and MTV said he was a little too ethnic.
Dang. You didn't tell me that till now.
Nah, they love. He did a couple of seasons. Y'all seen G-Thang. G-Thang's amazing.
I just did your.
We just did We Playing Spades. We do a podcast where comedians and different artists, we play spades and we talk a lot of talk and we have fun. And G-Thang came on and he beat me. Him and his partner. MC Light was your partner, right?
Yeah, MC Light was my partner, yeah.
And I lost a bet. He took over my social media for 7 days, and I had to tell everybody, all of my followers, to follow him every day for 7 days.
7 days, can you?
And he still ain't got no followers.
Yes. Well, we're going to do it again. Tell him my social media again. Help my brother out.
But, all right, we here, serious. Welcome to the WayMaker Mid Summit, y'all. Y'all give yourselves a round of applause for all of the inspiration and aspiration.
Nick, I want to say to you, 3 years ago, you came to the first summit, and you told me, you said, you ain't gonna never get rid of me. I'm gonna be here forever.
Every year, I'm here. I mean, it's family.
And Nick has been a man of his word. I am just impressed as I continue to know him about the work that he does, the commitment that he has to his craft, but also I'm getting to know the commitment that he has to his family, all right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I talked to Nick, and he got kids in the car with him. He taking them here and there.
I was with him before I got here. I had to, we do our thing this morning, but I was like making sure I could be here, but I had to drop the kids off first.
So the first question I want to ask you, Nick, is how do you juggle it all? I mean, you only got about 15 shows that you're producing or hosting. You on radio, you on TV, you doing movies, how do you juggle all of that?
I would have to say, somebody taught me a while ago that time is a man-made construct, but energy is God-given. So a lot of people focus on time management when you should really be focused on energy management. Because if you have enough energy, you'll find the time. So, and you always have to put your energy towards the things that matter to you the most, your purpose, the things that is the God energy within you is gonna make the time. So obviously you gotta have, if we're just talking business and just, the day-to-day function, you gotta have a strong team supporting you. But if you guys are aligned energy-wise, you could take over the world. So usually my days aren't structured based off of how much time do we have. It's based off of how much energy do we have and what do we want to put our energy towards and how we want to motivate in that sense. So specifically, my children are first and foremost my priority, and they fuel me. They give me the energy. They give me the drive. I'm at this point in my life, I've done everything I could ever want to do, accomplish beyond what I could imagine when I was a kid. So now I need things to motivate me, and it usually comes from the space of providing for my family or making opportunities and creating lineage and legacy in that way.
So, I mean, you definitely put your energy in some of the right places.
Appreciate you.
Isn't Wildin' Out now worth $1 billion?
That's what they say. I mean, I'm trying to...
Let's give it up for that. $1 billion show. So...
Trying to get my brother Lewis Carr here to help me help me navigate that space. But even in the to your point, it's something that I started out here on my own that I put and invested my own money into. And then when I went to, back then, it's Paramount today, but it was called Viacom back then, that I didn't even know at the time, but it was a blessing that I had ownership in an intellectual property, and it gave me negotiating power, and it gave it the staying power that, it's my brand. So first and foremost, even when you see, we're going into our 22nd season right now, and we're touring and all that, I get the autonomy and the ability to meet with executives and speak on the brand's behalf that has created so many different stars, so many different other platforms and offsprings. So when you see, Kevin Hart was one of our first cast members. Katt Williams was one of our first cast members. And, in those first seasons, all the way to now you got everybody like the DC Young Flies and the Chico Beans and everybody in between that you see. It's a generational brand that continues to create value in a space because it's still one of the #1 digital brands in the Paramount family, just having, I think we have close to 17 million TikTok followers. We have 20 million TikTok followers and 17 million YouTube followers, and across IG and Snapchat, the young people are watching Wildin' Out on their phones and on their tablets more than, and us old heads still watch it on TV.
Right.
But it's just so the fact that it can be a brand that's cross-generational and continuing to grow is a blessing, man. So I'm super appreciative of that.
So here's the thing. Some of these kids were never, I wasn't even born when the show came out first.
It started, I shot the pop, me and G-Thang, it was 2004.
Damn.
And it came out on television the summer, obviously it's the 20th year anniversary, July 2005.
Damn.
So
How old is this little dude?
I was born in August of 2004.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Man, listen, I was still in diapers when it first aired. But can you walk us through, you said it last time we did this interview, but can you tell us a story of how you got started and how you had to invest your own money into this show because other people didn't believe in it?
So how I got started with Wildin' Out or just my career?
How did you start Wildin' Out, that entire journey?
So, it was a thing. It's funny that G-Thang is here because he was definitely one of those individuals that at the time in the early 2000s, my career started to take off, and I was a teenager comedian. So people like G-Thang all the way to like Dave Chappelle, they would always look out for me in these comedy clubs because one, I wasn't allowed to be in there. So I was a teenager that they used to have to keep in the back. They used to call me the chicken finger comic because I was in the back with the chicken fingers. Like I wasn't allowed to come out and mingle because I wasn't old enough to be in the crowd. So backstage, a lot of the comedians, we'd be backstage just roasting and joning each other, freestyle rapping like my man King Moore here. You know what I mean? I was just like one of those kids that just always had a lot of energy. And so when I got the opportunity, I had a deal, what they called a development deal with MTV. I was doing a lot of hosting. I was hosting TRL, a lot of their spring and summer game shows. And so they gave me a deal. And at the time, there was a show called Punk'd that was like huge that Ashton Kutcher hosted. And they were like, hey, we want to create something like Punk'd, but like in the urban space, in the hip hop space with you. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, you guys already did that. I was like, I want to do something different. How about we do like a mixture of like a hip hop comedy show? And I was referencing things like, Uptown Comedy Club or even obviously Def Jam and all of that stuff. I was like, but something for this generation. And they didn't really understand it. So I was like, all right. So I called some of my friends. I called Kevin, G-Thang. I called so many people at the time. Yeah, and I rented out this comedy club that's not too far from here on Pico.
Mixed Nuts.
Yeah. And then, or was it Mixed Nuts or was it Comedy Union? It was Comedy Union. And rented it out for the night, and it was probably like the size of that corner over there. And I invited everybody out, all my comedian friends, rented some cameras, and we shot it, and it was hilarious. It went over amazingly. And I had a tape now. Back then, it was literally a tape. And I took it to MTV, and I was like, this is what I was talking about. This is what I want to do. And if you guys don't do it, I'm going to go do it somewhere else. And they was like, they didn't let me leave the room. They're like, no, we're going to do it. We'll give you your money back that you spent.
How much you spend?
I spent like $100,000. And back then, that was a lot of money.
But Nick, you had it.
I had it. I did have it. That was post drumline, so I was doing all right.
I didn't know you spent that much. I only got $500.
I didn't pay G-Thing. Yeah. All the money went on screen.
Yo, damn.
But that was even with my friends. I was like, yo, hopefully this gets picked up somewhere. And when it did, man, they gave me millions of dollars to do the first season, and we reshot it, and the rest is history.
Y'all make some noise for that,
Make
y'all.
some noise.
Make some noise.
So Nick, clearly you have a talent to pick talent.
Yeah, that was one of my gifts that God gave me is to recognize other people's gifts.
Is that, you just said it, it's inherent that God put it in you.
I definitely believe so, and I struggled with it for a while because I always wanted, well, you know what, it's interesting because I love the idea of being the guy, but for some reason I always gravitated towards being behind the scenes. Like even my first job at Nickelodeon, I was a writer. I was like at 17, I was the youngest staff writer in television history. I was doing the warm-ups for all of the various shows, and I was so intrigued by what was going on behind the camera that being on stage and in front of the camera was like ancillary for me. But that gave me the opportunity to give other people opportunities. So if I was writing something, if I was producing something, I could go to my friends and say, hey, I wrote this part for you. Or, yo, I'm producing this new show. I want you to be a part of it. And then I was like, oh, I'm a job creator. I can help create jobs for the community just by the creative concepts that I come up with. And I just started to thrive towards that and really got excited about being able to create opportunities and build platforms, you know, for my brothers and sisters out here.
Let's give it up for him. Yeah, clap for him. He making jobs for other people. He making jobs for other people.
Create jobs.
Create jobs.
Put food on the table.
Put food on the table.
Indeed.
40 seasons of wilding out.
Hopefully we make it to 40.
So, okay. One of the things that I kind of want to get into is you talk a lot about business. You manage so many different businesses.
Yeah.
But what would you say was the biggest lesson that you've learned from it so far?
Man, it's a tough road. It's not built for the weak in that sense of every day it's gonna be a different challenge, and you gotta look at building businesses like going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like, it's never an easy day at the gym. If it's an easy day at the gym, you didn't really get it in. You know what I mean? You got to figure out how you got to push yourself, and that's how it works in business, that whatever those challenges are, hurdles are meant to jump over. So you got to get in there and really push it because it's going to be a new challenge every day. Even as your business grows, even as you see success, you're going to have to start learning about, you know, you're going to get you a tax lawyer. You're going to have to learn, even, you know, Lewis has been a mentor for years. It's just figuring out how to walk in corporate America as a black man. I never thought I was gonna have to do this because I was an entertainer. So as an entrepreneur and a businessman, it was on-the-job training. I had to learn quite a bit, and I'm still learning to this day. I'm still learning how to deal with big corporations, how to create valid and valuable partnerships, and when you think they're telling you the truth, but they're selling you something else, or, you know, the manipulation factor in business, because everybody wants to make it to the top. So those are the lessons that I learn every day. But I value them in such a way because I feel like not only is it making me a better businessman, but it's making me a better human being.
You know, one of the things that I admire about you, Nick, is your thirst for learning.
Yes.
You don't think you know everything because you've had this tremendous success, but you still have the thirst to try to understand everything. I think when we think about Nick, just think about how many different audiences are attracted to him. So you got this mass singer, all right? That's a much older audience, all right?
My mama and them, they like that show.
And The Masked Singer is one of the top 10 shows in all of television, all right? So clearly he has that attraction to that audience. He has his radio show.
Yeah.
That's a whole
Syndicated
different
across
audience.
America.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Then he has Wild and Out. That's a whole different audience. He's been able to sort of move about in all these different spaces. And then the best of things is that don't nobody really dog you, Nick. All right?
Oh, appreciate that.
You know, don't nobody talk about you. You ain't in no scandals. So how have you been able to navigate that?
I have been canceled a few times, but it was only speaking up for us. But in that, even because that's one of the places I learned one of my greatest lessons is with people know your heart, they will make space for you.
Tell them about that, Nick, because this audience may not know that story.
Yeah, so obviously I have quite a few podcasts, and one of my podcasts is, speaking of learning, is called Cannon's Class. And it's an educational platform that I started at Howard University. HU, you know. See, we always in here. And it was all about education for people who don't really have the opportunity to be in an academic or a collegiate setting. And it's just talking that real talk. And concepts from people who, you know, from everybody from Dr. Umar all the way to my professors that were at Howard. And sometimes a lot of these conversations can be taboo. And I was just speaking about the empowerment of the black man and who we are and the origin stories and us being the original man, not knowing that sometimes when we big ourselves up, it intimidates others. And wanting to always speak truth to power is what I learned in this lesson in 2020, is that the only way you can speak truth to power is if you're actually speaking the truth.
Okay, now.
Yeah, all right.
Give it up
You
for
see
him.
that?
Come on now.
Because at any moment, if there's anything that's fabricated or anything that's false, then you can be open for attack. So that day I became a truth seeker and speaking about other communities and understanding. And luckily, I was still at Howard University during that time. So they were such a foundation and a backbone for me during that time. But to bring it all the way around to what you were speaking about is like, how do you maintain that thirst for knowledge and wisdom, but at the same time being able to function it with everyone, right. And people not speak bad about you. You have to come from an open place of saying, and humble yourself to say, I'm willing to learn. I'm a student every day. And through that process, people embrace me from multiple communities and saying, hey, he's not doing this for superficial reasons. He's looking because he really wants to empower his people, and I want to take all of the wisdom and knowledge that I have and pass it on to others.
Absolutely.
Clap for that, y'all.
Yes,
Clap
sir.
for that.
Y'all hands gonna get tired before I'm done up
Hey,
here.
because you spitting gems. You keep dropping gems. You know what? I'm not going to do it. Production's going to hate me if I do it, so I'm going to leave it alone. My last question for you is, you've had so many different experiences.
Facts.
You traveled the globe.
Several times.
Been with some of the biggest influencers, most powerful people on the planet. What would you say has been your favorite experience or favorite moment throughout your whole entire journey?
Wow. My entire career?
Damn.
Man, I feel like hopefully my next one. You know what I mean? My next experience. But if I'm having to reflect, and I think I was just thinking about, you know, I don't do anything unless I'm having a good time. I mean, G-Thang knows that, but I think that's just the nature of like a comedian. We always looking like, well, how can we have fun? How can we lighten up the moment? And honestly, I would have to say it has been the journey of wilding out, because it's taken me so many different places, starting in a small comedy club in South Central LA with my friends, and now it being a global brand to where we've been able to take it to Africa and, you know, doing wilding out, you know, in the motherland, and the fact that we've taken it to the UK, and the fact that it's spawned some amazing relationships and friendships. And I'm watching Kevin Hart couldn't pay his rent. He was trying to get, and now for him to be one of the biggest media moguls and biggest entertainers in the world, to watch one of my best friends and Katt Williams and all of these people go on and become household names and global brands themselves, man, that journey of Wildin' Out, that partnership, that brotherhood and sisterhood that we've created is really one of the greatest gifts that God
Make some love for that, y'all. Make some love for it.
Nick, the final question is, most of this audience, as you can see, is young people.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
And I can tell you there's probably a whole lot of them want to be you. All right?
Don't be me, be better than me.
Yeah.
Give them some advice, because you started as a child star.
Yeah.
Give them some advice as you look back on what they should be doing, and maybe you didn't do it, so they can sort of have a good shot at least becoming a Nick Cannon and going beyond a Nick Cannon.
It's simple, and I say this to my kids every day. It's 2 words: have fun. It sounds very like, anti what I should be speaking when I'm talking about advice, but my journey, and I mean, I actually get to see King Moore. I feel like he getting it in everywhere I'm at, he at. But I feel like he's a young person having fun. He up here rocking and freestyling. My dad was a preacher, so I had to tell Jesus raps. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, say ho. But I was a kid like that, like 8, 9 years old, telling jokes, doing that. But I was having fun, and my parents never really pushed it on me. And I was also, as they call it, I was one of those troubled kids when it was in school because I had so much energy. They diagnosed me with ADHD, and I was just, I had to learn to channel my energy, because if I wasn't having fun, then I would get angry. So in that sense, once I realized balance and knowing that I had outlets like the arts, having fun through that process opened up so many doors, because when you're having fun, you become a light. When, I've been the kids in this room that, like, I want to be, my energy, I want to be doing something. So either I'm trying to create mischief or I'm trying to get attention. But if that's channeled the proper way of knowing that it's about being a light and having fun, people will recognize that light and open those doors for you. And I'll say this last thing on top of the having fun. Don't worry about, getting put on or making money, because once you perfect who you are and the craft that you are, all of those people that you want to meet and want to get next to will come looking for you.
Facts.
Give
Show some love for that.